Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Skol Gang 365. I'm your host, Darren Ryan. So it's War Week. Tomorrow, we got 2 days. Monday, we got division rivalry. Bears come to the Vikings house for a crucial matchup. Vikings, they need to win to get into the playoffs. Bears are playing spoiler right now, trying to knock the Vikings off, so they really have to fight for to get in the playoffs.
So this is a win and clinch then for you guys on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which the Rams would have won. Oh no. If the Niners would have won and the Rams would have lost, we would have clinched. But that first scenario went out the window as soon as the Rams won.
Yeah, a lot of people going to sleep on them Rams. Well, the Rams are winning games than they need to.
See, I'd rather Geno and the Hawks go than the Rams.
Well, yeah, because the Rams get hot and they've got Stafford versus Geno. I'd rather face Geno than Stafford too.
But I do like JSN on Seattle. Nice young receiver. Finally getting the ball. That dude's good.
Yeah, both those teams have. I mean, every team has a couple good players, I should say, in the NFL right now. But the thing with the playoffs, you don't want to play the team that gets hot at the right time when you get in. And Rams are starting to warm up again, like last year at this time. They did the exact same thing, got hot. The North is pretty hot. I mean, we got 3 teams going to the playoffs. Of course, we got to beat each other up some starting this week, starting Monday when we get you. Then you go to Green Bay in week 17?
Green Bay comes here.
Yeah, and then you still have the Lions yet too? I think you do, don't you?
Lions week 18 at Detroit.
So three of your last four.
After we host you guys, we gotta go out to Seattle. So we gotta take the old Green Bay journey and go out to Seattle, which I hope Seattle beats Green Bay because it's in Seattle.
I mean, obviously we got the North 3 times the last 4. I'm trying to remember who the fourth team is.
But I will talk about two games that could possibly be
We got Seattle as well. Man,
be
Seattle's getting the
spoiled.
whole NFC North this month, right? They get Green Bay this week. Next week they get you. Then they get us. They get the Packers this week, right?
Yep.
Next week they have you or the Lions.
Us.
Yeah, and then they get us. They get 3 teams in the North in the next 3 weeks. Ooh.
Back to back. Back to back to back.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, if you're on X, feel free to comment. We got about 30 of you guys watching us on X right now. I know it's not the easiest thing to do from X, but trust me, the comments do work. I was just making comments on open mic night. So drop your comments. Let us know what you think about this game. Darren's Minnesota Vikings, or the Vikings, as he likes to call them, against the Chicago Bears, who have we lost our way? Will we rebound? Was it just a first-time head coaching slump in San Francisco? What's one day going to look like? Is this a real big trash talk week, or I don't know?
See, I think, obviously you guys are due for a win. Guys, you guys still, I think, need to find your identity, and more so it be like with the coaching aspect of it. So I think you guys are coach away from doing something, because you guys got the talent.
Got the talent. And I think
That's
last week for Brown,
undeniable. You guys got the talent, both sides of the ball.
blow, Don.
Now
Uh,
now you just need a coach.
The thing is like I agree with you. We got the talent, and I think with Brown, I mean, first off, I don't think he's gonna be the head coach next year. I think the Bears kind of blew it by promoting him from interim OC to interim head coach. Like they should have just taken our DC and made him the interim head coach, because now Brown has no future with the Bears. And I think he was doing a good job of calling the game as the OC. But you know how it is, Darren. Going from the booth to the sideline to call the game, it's a whole different feel, a whole different sight line. And I think it overwhelmed them in San Francisco. And for the DC, it was his first game he got to call, the play call, since the preseason. So I think both of them got overwhelmed. So I was happy it was against the Niners and not a division team. So this week, I don't know what to expect. Like, look at the defense is still a good defense, right? Still Eberflus's design. It's just a matter of the play calling. The offense is still the offense that took you to overtime a couple weeks ago. It's just a matter of them making the correct play calls from the sideline versus from the press box. Does that make sense?
Right.
So it could be a
See,
good game.
and from what I've been hearing is Harbaugh wanted the job before Eberflus.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Warren. There was something there with I've seen the reports too that he kind of wanted to come to Chicago. Kevin Warren's like, well, because stuff that went on when they were both in the Big Ten. Because remember, Harbaugh had more than a few scandals when he was in the Big Ten. And I think that soured it. I mean, now reports are coming out that someone in the organization wanted to fire Flus before the season, after last year, to reset the clock that way, head coach and quarterback. I get that. But I mean, Flus's defense was good enough, and they had made enough improvement that I think that's why it was a hard sell at that point last year. I think this year, really, the only reason he got fired and became the first head coach in the history of the Chicago Bears to be fired mid-season. So in 105 years, no one's ever done it. Been fired like that. I think it was the way he spoke to the media. Like after the Detroit game, like he was trying to take the bullet for Caleb, right? Because look, at Caleb took call a timeout, and Caleb, you had enough time to change the play, but if you knew it was going to be the last play, just take the time out, kid, right? But Eberflus kind of takes the blame for it all, but the way he said it was just really bad. And I think that got him fired more than anything.
I think he should have just let Caleb take the bullet and not open his fucking mouth, and he'd probably still have a job.
Well, because normally, yeah, the 2-minute drill is the quarterback's time, right? So,
yep.
But I guess at the end, though, after that game, he completely lost the locker room. So between what he was saying and the locker room kind of blowing up on him, they had to make the move. But the good thing is, there's the coaching hunt in Chicago is going to be interesting. There's some really nice names out there that I wouldn't mind. Sully, I'm sorry, you're waiting in the back. Let me bring you on. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sully. I didn't see you back there.
That's all right.
For the Bears, there's some interesting names. I hear they've been talking to Vrabel. I like Vrabel. He's a defensive-minded guy. He runs a 3-4, so there'll be no scheme change in Chicago. For me, that's key. He also has a good track record of hiring offensive-minded OCs, good OCs, i.e. Matt LaFleur, right, who's now doing really well as a head coach. And there might be some other coaches that get fired that will go back to being coordinators. So that bodes well for him too. Like if Vrabel gets fired with the Giants, that could be the Bears OC next year is Mike Vrabel.
Who would you like to see?
Who would I like to see? Well, it's never going to happen. Well, Sully, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen who I want to see.
Never say never. Never say never, man.
I want Gruden, and that's not going to happen because of the lawsuit. If I could have any coach available right now, Gruden. In fact, any coach available or from any other team, I would still take Gruden, hands down. Best football mind in football. I mean, the guy is a friggin' genius. I would take Gruden. I've loved Gruden as a head coach since he was in Oakland.
Okay. Interesting.
So for me, I'd want Gruden. If Gruden's not available, now you got Vrabel. You've got there we go. Now there's look at the end of the day, it's the guy we're not even talking about. And that's usually how it ends up. But
my tooth money.
Okay, yeah.
And my dentist.
But yeah, I mean the game this week will be because the players want to play for Brown. Like these players want to play. They want to play.
I got a question. I hate to interrupt you. I got a question though for you. Let's say the Vikings go deep in the playoffs. Would you be interested in Brian Flores as a head coach?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams will be.
Okay.
The thing I like about Flores is he's got some experience, prior head coaching experience. He's not a first-time guy, so he'll learn from the mistakes that were made in Miami. But Miami, whoever you believe in that situation, I don't know. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what he's going to bring. He runs a 4-3. So here's my thing for me. If you're going to be a head coach of the Chicago Bears next year and you're a defensive-minded coach, you need to run a 4-3. I don't have time for scheme change. I've got the players on my roster today ready to go. If you go for 4-3-3-4, they're going to be personnel changes. I mean, like Montez Sweat might not fit a 3-4 like he does a 4-3, and you might have to get rid of Sweat. I don't want to do that.
Correct.
I mean,
Daniil Hunter's the same way. In 2022, when we had the 3-4 defense, even he said that's not his forte. He doesn't run his best. He doesn't have his best games in a 3-4 defense. It's a 4-3.
And with the Packers, when they made their change, was it Preston Smith? Same thing. Oh, Preston Smith's going to be a bomb. They ended up trading him at the deadline because he doesn't fit the new scheme. So my criteria in Chicago is if you're a defensive-minded coach, you got to run a 3-4, which is what we currently run. And if you hire an offensive-minded head coach, his DC has to run a 3-4. So whoever comes in to call the defense, be it the head coach or the DC next year in Chicago, has to run a 3-4. Now, that does limit you, but if you bring in an offensive-minded head coach, Robert Saleh runs a 3-4, and he's going to be available to be a DC. Yeah. Flus is going to take a job somewhere as a DC probably. He'll get picked up as a DC. Almost guarantee it. So, like if Flores comes to Chicago, you guys just hire Flus as your DC. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Right, but I mean, it would be such a good thing though too, because now you're getting a guy who was a defensive coordinator and in the NFC North. So
Right.
This guy would definitely have some input on how the Vikings operate things. So,
Well,
so it'd definitely be advantages at the same time. So,
yeah. And if you guys would say we're to hire Flus as your DC, you'd get the same kind of advantages.
right.
Whether either the coordinators from Detroit get a job in the North, I don't know if the Bears. I mean, some of the Bears fans really are clamoring for it, but it's not like they're bringing that O line with them or that. I mean, the defense is a 3-4. They run a 4-3 in Detroit, so that works. But
Right.
I don't want a first-time head coach, man. I just don't.
Right.
I mean, and look, there's some other guys that could be interesting, like what's his name in Cleveland could get fired.
Oh,
Stefanski.
I'm having Stefanski. Yeah.
Yes, Stefanski.
Yeah, you're talking about our former offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so Stefanski gets fired. He could be, look, you could get Stefanski as the head coach, and maybe get Saleh as your.
I don't see Stefanski getting moved.
I don't think he's gonna get fired either.
I think the quarterback Deshaun Watson gets the fucking boot.
Dude, well, I agree with you, Darren. It's more about them with that Watson.
I think Jameis Winston finally gets a chance, like Geno got a chance.
Yeah.
What about
So here's who I think are going to be the top two candidates for the Bears head coach, and these are offensive guys. I think it's either gonna be Ben Johnson or you're gonna get Brady from Buffalo.
I'm not a big fan of Ben Johnson. Just some things he's already said. Buffalo, yeah, I think Buffalo possibly. Yeah, Philip, you're right. Gruden's just another John Madden. I don't know if it's going to be offensive minded. To be honest, it doesn't have to. Like honestly, it's like here's what people get. Like I argue with the guys in the morning show, especially Rob about
this. You just need the right offensive coach,
Rob.
But Rob's like, oh, you have to have an offensive-minded coach because of Caleb. No, I don't. Why do I have to have an offensive-minded head coach because of Caleb?
Well, I mean, you had a defensive coach with fucking Fields.
No, but that's not the point. Like, here's the point: if I have a defensive-minded head coach, that's fine as long as he has a good OC, because that's what's going to make the impact, right? I mean, so if I have a good offensive-minded coach, I'm not against that either, but they better bring get a good DC.
Right, you need an offensive coordinator and a good quarterback coach too. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it doesn't matter if the guy's offensive minded or defensive minded as much as can he hire well on the other side of the ball. I mean, I got the best offensive minded coach in NFL history, but if he can't hire a DC to save his ass, then it doesn't matter. Every game's have to be 48-45. Right? We saw that with Lovie Smith. He was great.
and then your last offensive coach, Nagy, you know how that turned out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so because he didn't hire a good defense coordinator.
Well, okay. What about your GM?
He's fine.
You think GM's fine?
Dude, don't listen to the Packer fans. They just want to stir shit up. I mean, that Rob every morning. This is Rob every morning. Holes isn't going to be the GM for the Bears next year. Holes is going. Holes is quitting. Holes is getting fired. Holes isn't going anywhere, dude.
Like, well, I mean, he did make a bold statement saying that you guys are going to claim the division. I've never give it up. And
dude, yeah. Well,
that's backfiring in his face right there.
But John, everyone since Lovie Smith has said that in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you say, but I mean, like Kevin Warren last week said that Ryan Poles will be the GM in 2025, and Ryan Poles will be picking the head coach. Okay. There's your president of football operations telling you exactly what's happening. And here's Rob. He's going to quit because he doesn't like that he has to report to Kevin Warren because he still only reports to one guy. And Kevin Warren, while he reports to ownership, has full control of the team. So he has full autonomy to do whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't have to go seek permission from ownership. on anything. But you tell that to the Packer fans, like, oh, no, that's not true. Well, yeah, that is true. They just don't want it to be true so they can have something to argue and talk shit about. I mean, that's the end of the day. That is.
Let's get
So, I
Robert
mean,
on here. Let's get some confirmation from him.
I mean, well, no, they came on.
I'm kidding.
So they came on Hallis Hall the other night talking that,
Yeah.
and Woody's like, "Yeah, we don't care." I mean, so look, I mean, the Bears are a team that really this year did a lot of things for the year. There was a lot of excitement, rightfully so. There should have been, and they didn't get to start the offensive line they wanted to start from Jump Street because of injury. Then they kind of realized, well, Shane Waldron can design a great offense. He can call it for shit. So they get rid of him, and Brown's done really well. He did really well as the interim OC in the 3 division games. I mean, we lost by a grand total of 7 points between all 3 games.
Yeah.
But the defense, my complaint about the defense with Eberflus this year was he wasn't being aggressive enough. Now, there have been some injuries there, too, and that might prohibit some of it. But this team could easily right now be in a 10 or 11 game winner just as much as they are a 4-game winner. I mean, I was at the game in Washington. I was in the end zone where the Hail Mary was caught.
Mm-hmm.
No one in the stands could believe what they just saw, Bear or Commander fan alike. I mean, who would have guessed that, a field goal that Santos is going to hit 99% of the time gets tipped by Green Bay and we lose that game by a point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at who would have thought that with 29 seconds left to go in the game, Caleb and the Bears would erase a 2-score lead against the Vikings, get to overtime, and then hand the momentum to you guys, where you guys can march down the field and get a field goal. And then you've got the Detroit game, which we know how that ends. So, I mean, they've been in game. They're still, I don't know if they're trying to find identity. I think they're just trying to put it together coaching-wise. They got the talent. The talent's there. We know they got talent all over the place in that team. It's just, and we're missing talent in key places, like in the trenches. And they thought they had the solution, and then injuries happen.
See, I think so obviously player-wise, you guys I think need improvements on the offensive line.
Yep.
And you guys, I still think you guys need a edge player.
Yep. Oh, I agree. Darren, find me a Bear fan that disagrees with that assessment, and I'll find you someone who cheers for Green Bay.
Let's get David White on here. Man, he's a Lions fan. I almost forgot.
I mean, honestly, like the first 3 picks in the draft, we got 1 in the first and 2 in the second, should be spent on O-line and edge rush, period. I mean, really, we're about one. Look at the two needs on the O-line were right guard and center. Blake Shelton is ranked between 10th and 12th in the NFL at his position all season consistently. I think we're good at center. Right guard has been the problem. They need to draft the right guard. And then I want to draft another guy who can either play left guard or left tackle or both. Because Tevin Jenkins can't stay healthy. And while our left tackle has been pretty good overall, he does suffer on the bull rush pretty bad. So I like to get maybe a guy who can play left tackle / left guard so he can rotate in with those guys. And then we drafted an edge rusher in the 5th round. And if you guys remember at the beginning of the season, I said, I don't think this guy is going to be the answer this year, but he could be the answer next year when, for this look at the Bears took him in the 5th round, and all the commentators were like, this guy should have waited a year because he would have been a 1st or 2nd rounder next year. So I'm hoping we get that kind of play out of him next season, but we still need an edge rusher. And there are some interesting guys I've already been looking free agency. If they make it to free agency, there are some offensive linemen and some edge guys that are intriguing.
The best edge guy that's going to be coming out of this draft, in my opinion, is the kid from Georgia.
Well, and then free agent wise,
who just declared.
So I mean, there are going to be some good free agents too if they make it. So the Bears will have ample opportunity to fix the O-line. And look, the bigger news about Foles isn't that there might be discombobulation, let's say, between him and Warren. This is a contract year. This is a contract draft for Ryan Poles. His contract ends after next season. So he's playing, so to speak, for an extension. So if he doesn't fix the old line, he's not getting his extension next year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he's got to fix the trenches. And then Keenan Allen might come back, and I hope he does. I think he's a value add. There are some offensive linemen and some other like Jack Sanborn, who's only making ready for this one. How much money do you think Jack Sanborn is making as a starting linebacker right now? He's been starting
under 800K.
Yeah, because remember he took the place of Roquan.
Yeah.
We traded Roquan Smith. He's making $859,000 or something like that. Dude, he's his contract's up. He's gonna pay raise, right?
How
Probably
much do you think Ivan Pace is making?
Probably about the same, right? Rookie
Because
minimum.
he came on as undrafted free agent. He was practice squad.
Just like Sanborn.
Worked his way up fucking last year all the way to the starter role.
So Sanborn will go from the sub $1 million a year contract to probably 4 or 5 minimum. So I mean we got 82 million plus whatever the cap was up. Let's just say 20. It went up 30 last year. Let's say it goes up 20. So about 102 million and about 22 slots to fill, and you figure we got 7 or 8 draft picks. So you've got roughly 15, 16 slots to fill via re-signing and free agencies.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Bears have Poles. Look at the other thing. This is another mark of a good GM. Every year he has the flexibility to go get what he needs. He set the Bears up for success long term in terms of contracts. So this year he's got the money. He can resign the people he needs to resign or bring in the free agents he needs to bring in, and he can draft what he needs to draft, and we're going to be competitive. And really, if you think about it, if they can fix the trenches next year, are you going to tell me if the Bears fix the trenches, you're going to tell me this isn't a contending team next year? With all this functionality they've had,
I'm not ruling that out. I'm going to
Right.
say all 4 teams in the division are just going to be
ridiculously stupid,
clashing heads every season until that point where somebody finally falls off.
The only thing for you guys, and they were talking about this on
we have to fix our trenches, sadly.
Well, you got a quarterback dilemma now, and it's like you guys were smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were like here's how play. And look at you guys were smart, but it's going to hurt you. You were smart to get Darnold for $10 million this year, just in case JJ wasn't ready. But then JJ gets the injury. Word is JJ had to have a second procedure because the tendon didn't attach or didn't fully attach or whatever. So the word is right now JJ is not going to be ready for the regular season. With the season you've had, what do you do with the Ghost Hunter? Do you re-sign him, or do you say no? We're just going to give Danny Dimes $10 million to be the backup next year, and if JJ's not ready, roll with Danny Dimes for the first 4, 5, 6 games of the season.
So this is what I do, right? Because right now, fucking Danny Dimes is not on my 53. That man's on the practice squad. Okay.
Right.
Next year, Nick Mullins, since your contract is up, walks into the sunset. Sam Darnold, I extend Sam Darnold for 2 to 3 years. Minimal 35 per.
You're not going to give him for 35. If you franchise tag him, it's 42 or 42 now.
See, I like Quezzy because he's a numbers guy. He's able to quench in numbers and make it right for not only the player's standpoint but also the team standpoint. So it's team friendly.
Let me see what Darnold's market is back.
And plus, if we bring the Red Rifle Ginger Jesus back, okay, fucking Sam Darnold's gonna know what he needs to do in order for the Vikings to be successful. So
All
he
right, so you
takes
guessed it
that.
with Darnold's market.
So he takes
Well,
that. So that the bag that he's gonna get, he's gonna take that team friendly deal. Go out
so
and you're gonna
Darren,
go
I want to
out
give
and
you some
get him
props.
some protection. You're gonna go out and you're gonna help fix his defense. So he ain't got to be on the fucking field all that much.
So
And say something happens, and then once he's up for contract negotiations again, you can sit down with them and say, okay, so now we're at this point. How do you feel?
you ready for this? That's the market value. So I'll give you some props. That's his current market value. So you were right about 35 mil. And when you look into it even further, Baker Mayfield, just that's what his contract was, about 33 mil was average salary. So he'd be making right around Baker Mayfield money. That might actually be right. Derek Carr money. But right, 36, well, just call it 36 mil for easier math. So you were in the ballpark for sure, man. So I'll give you some props, man. That's a good call. I don't know if you'll go, but now that's what it is today. If Darnold gets you to an NFC Championship game, that price tag went up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and see that's where it
But
bits you in
but
the
here
ass.
but
That's what
here
I'm saying.
but here but here's the thing. But here's the thing. We get to that point. You go into the next season looking like, okay, we can get further. What do we need to do to get further? And then that's where the team
Wedging
mentality
it.
comes in.
So I think all four teams in the North next year are going to be competitive. Three of them are already competitive this year. One is competitive, but without proper coaching, that'd be the Bears. And we talk about Monday
I
night's
I just
game.
I just think it's something with O'Connell, dude. Like he's a quarterback guy.
I think it's just Darnold. I think it is a little bit of both because Darnold in New York, the pressure
And
wasn't
then
right for him.
also if you look at it, when O'Connell took the job in Minnesota after Zimmer got canned and thrown to the dumpster, to all obliteration because he's a one-eyed seeing bitch. Um, so when O'Connell came here, notice how they had changed up the playbook to fit Kirk Cousins. He had to make this, make that for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins leaves, says he's not coming back. Okay, goes to Atlanta. Now you got Sam Darnold comes in. Don't have to change a single thing from your straightforward KLC playbook. Don't have to make any exceptions for anybody or nothing. Sam Darnold came in here, studied the full playbook like a damn gangster, and now he's trotting around the NFC like he's Al Capone.
Dylan was actually a Vikings fan on JB's roundtable, and he's usually right. He's got inside sources. He's usually right. He said that JJ had to have a second procedure for the tendon, that they're trying not to make it public, but it did happen. So take that for what you will, whether it's fake or not. Probably still hasn't changed the idea that they have to be ready for JJ to not be ready for the regular season, either
So
because he's injured or the level of play.
I think the Vikings sit JJ like the Packers did Love. And we got Ginger Jesus, and then we just have a sniper. We just have a 50 cal sniper rifle sitting waiting on the bench for when Ginger Jesus rides off in the sunset. Fucking we got we got
You know
we
what kills
got
me
we
about
got
Ginger
we
Jesus?
will have our Chris Kyle.
Ginger Jesus has been trying to retire from football, and then the Bears signed him to a contract. Then he goes to Dallas. the Ginger Jesus was going to retire like what 5 years ago, and he still
Listen. We ain't talking about Andy Dalton here, man. Okay.
Oh,
This man's already more successful than Andy Dalton.
I'm just saying Dalton can't. You know, he can't retire, man. Every time he tries to retire,
hold on. He's the red
the Rocket. Yeah.
the red rifle. Okay, he's a pump action BB gun.
So what do you think about this game coming up on Monday Night Football? I hate this dual Monday Night Football thing. We've got the early game at 7, right? And then the Raiders game's at 7:30. I hate this dual Monday Night Football crap. But what do you think about Bears Vikings Monday Night Football? What are you expecting?
I think Bears Vikings Monday Night Football is going to be really entertaining. All NFC North games are really entertaining. Who the Raiders play?
It's on top of my team. I lost one. I'll tell you. I don't think their game is not going to be a good game though. All right, we got for the other Monday night. The Raiders game is they get the Falcons. They got Kirk O'Chain.
Okay. So while Cousins tries to get back on this redemption for early
In Vegas,
proven to the NFL that he's a typical choke artist. So in Kirk Cousins fashion, he's gonna come out and absolutely just act like he just took
no Max
Raiders.
Crosby.
The Raiders. He's gonna act like he took the Raiders to church and hit them all with holy water.
Yeah, well, the Raiders are going to be without Crosby too, so that's not going to really be good.
So he's gonna win one game to make up for all those losses of sin on the season.
So I mean, for our game, we definitely have a lot of injuries in Chicago. We got the injury bug. Right now, we might be running Scott out there as a running back. Roshan is still out on concussion protocol. Swift did not practice Friday. I'm not sure about today. I didn't look at today's. Let me check the injury report today. See if there's an update for both teams. I know you guys got some injuries too. Let me check the injury report. Brisker's still out. I think they might just keep him out for the year at this point.
That's right. You got Byard.
So Swift and Johnson were non-participants again today.
We'll know when we'll know come tomorrow or fucking Monday morning.
Ryan Bates is in concussion protocol still, as is Roshan Johnson. Oof. Elijah Hicks practiced. That was good. Mercedes Lewis took his day off. That guy's got to retire, man. So, yeah, did not practice for the Bears. Come on, open up on me. There we go. Ryan Bates, concussion. Johnson did not practice. Gervin Dexter Sr. did not practice. DeAndre Swift, Josh Blackwell did not practice. Elijah Hicks, full limited practice. And Travis Homer, that's going to be our running back. He was full practice today. So we'll see. Well, that was as of Friday. So then it's not updated for Saturday yet, So, but we're looking like we're the walking wounded walking in here Monday night a little bit. Some big players, I mean, if both our running backs are out, that's not a good thing. If Travis Homer's the only guy we got, I think you're going to see a lot of look, what the Bears haven't used this year is Cole Kmet. They haven't used their their tight end passing game at all. I think for this game, JJ is X'd out. It's gonna come down to Hawkinson and Addison making plays for you guys receiving. I don't expect JJ to have a good game. Um, it's going to come from Addison again or Hawk like he did last time. And you guys can, I think Jones is playing, right? So you guys are going to be able to run, and we can't seem to stop it. And with Dexter out, that's going to hurt the run defense even more. It's going to be an interesting game for us. I mean, I think Caleb, you're going to have fun watching Caleb. I think we're all going to enjoy watching Caleb. Good game, maybe, but
Yeah, I mean that's if Caleb knows how to use his time management in the second quarter. I'll be all right.
so that's the thing though. The time management for Caleb and for Flus were actually pretty good at times during the year. At the end of the first half, they were good. At the end of the second half, not so much. Um, but I think Caleb,
I stopped putting Caleb on my parlays because I needed him to at least score one touchdown in the Arizona game, and he fucking sold me on my parlay. Everything hit besides that.
you know what's funny about Caleb? So right now he's 7 games down interceptions. That's an NFL rookie record. He just set like 3 or 4 Bears rookie records in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's the only quarterback in the NFL this year to throw more than 1 touchdown against the Detroit Lions. Interesting. I mean, like I think
Is he on his way to breaking that 4,000-yard
he could
passing
if
record?
yeah he could he could I mean it could happen. Odds are he's going to set the Bears rookie record though. If he doesn't already have it, it could happen. He's projected to get like 3,800 yards right now, I think. So 4,000 within reach. Just so it sucks that the passing game was almost non-existent for some of those Shane Waldron games, right? I think he would have easily broken it this year, but we drafted the right guy. We drafted the right guy. Now we just got to protect him, and that's what we failed at this year. Now, since Brown took over as OC, up until last week, the first 3 games, I mean, think about it, Green Bay didn't even get a sack until the final drive, and they got 2 sacks. We were able to overcome those back-to-back sacks to put ourselves in a position to win against the Vikings. He didn't get touched all day until overtime, and then he took that really bad sack that killed the overtime drive. Okay, fine, and then in Detroit, he didn't get sacked till almost the end of the game. So, or he got sacked at that last drive. So then last week, I mean, like everything fell apart last week. They couldn't do anything on either side of the ball. So the protection's gotten better because we've gotten guys back off injury. That's why the old line it's bad, but it's close. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, that's how we are right now. So
I mean, I like some of what you guys did. Like
our right guard who we had at the start of the season, Ed Ingram, ended up getting benched.
See, for us, it was supposed to be Bates all year. I think Bates has played 2 games.
With Darisaw going down, they got rid of Quisenberry from being the starter. So now Cam Robinson's in. Well, Cam Robinson got banged up, so they threw Quisenberry back out, and then they end up getting Dalton Rinzer back, which was big. And then Blake Brando's been playing well, and it's like our right tackle Brian O'Neill giving up sacks. Fucking Garrett Bradbury. It's always an issue with Bradbury. He's got back issues. Always gets thrown around like he's a sack of sand. But yeah, he'll get ran through.
Hey, let me go back to a comment here from Dale. I think when we were talking about coaches, he asked, why would you take a coach from a team that has a long
He was
history?
talking about. I think he was talking about when I said Joe Brady
because
from
because you're not
Brady
taking the
from
head
the Bills and Johnson from the Lions.
I mean, but they have been winning the last 3 seasons while they've been there. And if you look at some of these other teams, like if the OC might be performing at a high level, like they could have, like look at the Bears with Jay Cutler, his best season. They were ranked 2 in the NFL, but their defense was the worst in the NFL. And what happened to the OC? He got hired away to be a head coach right after that season. So you got to figure we're getting OCs or DCs as head coaches, right? Sometimes you get a guy who just got fired as a head coach, like Vrabel. They get fired for different reasons. A guy I like to see too, but he says he doesn't want it's Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera, he's not Gruden, but he gets football both sides of the ball better. He's a defensive-minded coach that gets the offense, right? And has a good track record with that with Cam and otherwise. So, I mean, and sometimes you take a coach who just got fired because they were just in a bad situation. Like you look at the team they got fired from, and maybe it was their first head coaching job, and there was a disconnect with personnel and the GM, lots of injuries. I mean, these are things that the GMs are looking at. They don't just look at wins and losses. They look at how wins and losses happen, right? So it's
Right.
like, did with Vrabel, why did he lose his job in well, his OC got hired away, and the OC they scrambled to get didn't do as good, and the offense maybe suffered, and there were some big injuries, and so they underperformed that season, so they fired the coach. I mean, that happens with some of these good coaches. They've been there for a while and they get fired. I mean, I think too the shelf life of these NFL coaches is way too short. Like 3 years is not enough time. Like these head coaches need 4 or 5 years with a team for you to really, I think, make an argument whether they're good or not. Because it's usually 2 or 3 years of building, right? How many times do we see a head coach gets fired, the new head coach comes in, and all of a sudden the team wins? Like that's probably what's going to happen in Chicago. Whoever they bring in, all of a sudden they're going to win, and they're going to get all the credit for it. But really, it's Bruce who did the heavy lifting to begin with and built the team. See it all the time. So that's why you would take a coach from a team with a long history of not winning or coming off a losing team. Like, why would you take Stefanski if he gets fired? Well, it wasn't necessarily his fault what happened in Cleveland. I mean,
That's true. I mean, look at Andy Reid. He spent all them years in Philadelphia, went to KC.
yeah. And look at Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's the heir apparent in KC, right? So
Right.
it just
And Andy Reid was with Philadelphia for a very long time. I think he came in and
like a
he coached them.
decade.
I think in '98. I think it was.
He was there for like a decade plus. He took him to the Super Bowl. To
Right. Made the NFC Championship games. Kept losing. Went to one Super Bowl. Lost to Tom Brady. Goes to KC. Gets Mahomes, and everything takes off from there.
like McCarthy might get a contract extension in Dallas if you can believe it. That's what Jerry Jones has said. He has not ruled out giving him another contract. And everyone's like, their minds are blown. But look at McCarthy's won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to get there. Last year they were division winners. This year they had injuries. They had all kinds of other distractions. Is it McCarthy's fault? So I mean, the coach is an easy person to blame, but sometimes it's not really their fault. We blame them, but then we also give them the credit when it's not always their credit to be gotten. Right? Sometimes the players just make good plays.
That's true. I mean, he could pass the buck on to Mike Zimmer. I mean, that's an easy target right there.
Yeah, easy.
Defense does not look that good. Even before the injuries, they weren't looking that great. So
I'm looking forward. I mean, I'm interested to see what kind of game we get Monday night out of Chicago. If we get the way we played the division last time, or we get another San Francisco game.
good question.
Yeah.
I think you're not going to get a San Fran. I think you're going to get it 2 weeks in a row. I'll be surprised if that happens. I don't think it will, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they kind of learned. It was a learning process last week. I liked a lot of what you guys have done this year. I love that you guys got Van Ginkel. God, I hate that I watched Hard Knocks in season because I really liked Van Ginkel because of it. But you see his story. How do you not like Van Ginkel? But he's played so well for you guys. Your defense has been pretty solid. Your offense has done what it had to do. I mean, you guys are a good football team right now. The Bears are a good football team that kind of doesn't know what to do with itself. I think sometimes that's where we're at this year. And Caleb, though, like you know, I've noticed though, John, Caleb. If you notice the last couple weeks, Caleb's been a lot better. Rome is starting to find his feet. Right, Rome is like a Dunze starting to figure out what it takes to be an NFL receiver. I'm happy about that. The first half of the year, it was just kind of like he was playing, but you know how with these rookies, man, it took him a minute, and now he's kind of figuring it out. They both are. So this could be a good game. I hate to say it, but I hope we play spoiler for your guys' clinching this weekend.
I'm sure you would like that. Or playing spoiler against the Packers.
Well, in Green Bay's probably. I think Green Bay's going to lose in Seattle. That's just their kryptonite. So, who do you guys got next week again?
We got Chicago, and then we get Green Bay at home.
We got so next week we go to Seattle.
Yeah, we go to Seattle. Oh yeah, we go to Seattle.
We go to Seattle, and then we host Green Bay
at home.
And then we go to Detroit to cap off the season.
Oof. I mean, dude, wouldn't it be funny if Week 17 determined a playoff clinch for you guys and Green Bay? And then wouldn't it be even funnier if Green Bay has to beat the Bears in Week 18 to clinch the playoff spot?
Wouldn't it be funny if we had play Detroit for the division?
I mean, that's look at the NFL wants that because cha-ching, right? There'll be great games. If it's not that, those games won't be as good, I don't think.
Right, it'd be a prime time, probably Sunday night game.
I mean, if the Packers have to beat the Bears to get in, I wouldn't be surprised if that game gets flexed.
Funny they lose too.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Come on, we've lost 11 straight to Green Bay. We need to beat them. You know, the Bears. I look at this as kind of like how the Cubs when they rebuilt, like when Theo Epstein got there. That's how they're kind of taking the approach with the Bears. It's a process, and I thought Flus would get at least one more year as the process, but then, you know, the talking to the media and stuff happened, and he lost the locker room. But I mean, look, the process is still in play. Now you just got to find the head coach that can. You've got the roster. You just need to find and look at whatever head coach comes in. They already know what they're drafting in the draft, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty obvious to everyone at this point. So you just need to find a head coach who's just a good coach and is going to get these guys to win games and is going to hire the right OC or DC, depending on if it's an offensive or defensive-minded coach. You've got the personnel. Your mission in year one is playoffs or bust.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs or we'll find someone else. I mean, that's the mentality that the new head coach in Chicago will have to have. Jay Trollington. Gotta love the name. Longtime Vikings fan. I've been hurt before. This Bear game feels like a trap. It is a trap.
Yeah.
It's the perfect game for us Vikes to show who they truly are. I hope you're wrong. Look, someone said on one of our shows, there's no such thing as a trap game in the NFC North because it's a division game, but it is a trap because of how badly we played in San Francisco last week.
I wouldn't really, people call it track games. I think it's more like your coach doesn't take the game that's as serious as he should type of game because the team you're playing against isn't that they're not playing that good. So, and that's always the worst mistake. They should be coaching every game like it's a Super Bowl game.
Right.
Every game like it's a Super Bowl game.
Like Sarah, I love Sarah, and she's going to be on House Hall tomorrow morning. So she says. You know, she's like, oh, this is going to be a blowout. You know, all the Packer fans like, oh, this game's not even going to be close with you guys. You know, the Vikings-Bears game. It's not even going to be close. So there are some fans out there, be it Vikings fans and Packer fans and Lions fans. But you know what, though, John? For all those people who say it's going to be a blowout, then there's you, Darren, Rob, the more serious Vikings fans who are like, nah, man, this is going to be a one-score game.
Yep. Well, it's a division game, and it would be a different story if you like if you're like to your second or third string quarterback was just like your third string quarterback was just starting. He's never took a really snap, maybe a few snaps, and that was it. And maybe like a banged up offensive line, then I would say, yeah, we're going to blow you guys right out. Your quarterback's going to get smoked, something like that. But that's not the case. Not even close to the case. So
I called it on another show. It was going to be a 1 point game. The Bears went on a Santos field goal at the last minute. That's how I'm a Bears fan. I got to take my Bears, right?
right.
But I said it'd be like the Bears would win on a last minute field goal to win by 1 because it's the North. I mean, come on, that's just the way games end in the North this year.
I wouldn't laugh at you if you made that prediction, because if you got it right, then it's like, who's laughing now?
Yeah.
We'd have to hear all fucking week how we lost to the Bears on prime time.
On a last minute field goal from Santos, like 45 yards or 48 yards out or something,
Right.
like this game could very easily go the other way, where you guys are kicking a field goal with time running out to win it by 3. I don't think anyone's going to get to 7 points.
No.
Like, this is a 1-score game, I think.
Yep.
So Darren's playing with the comments bar there. Yeah. Oh, now they all disappeared. We lost the comments. Oh, now they're back. Woo! But hey, before I forget, tomorrow morning, guys, 11 a.m. on all the platforms on X. It will be in Bears Twitter, and I'll throw it in Vikings Twitter as well. Thank you guys in both those Twitter spaces for watching us here tonight. We'll have Hal's report at 11 a.m. This isn't only one of the Vikings Twitters. I'm waiting to get approved from the other Vikings Twitter. But when they see the name of Ken the Bear fan wanting to be in Vikings Twitter, I might not get in. I don't know. But I started pushing the Viking shows, the Vikings, to one of the Viking Twitters. So thank you guys for interacting and watching. Remember on X, Trollington, making the post from X. Thank you for commenting there. It can be done. And I'm gonna every week we'll be trying to post this show in Vikings Twitter, and all the team shows we've got here for the Bears, Packers, and Lions, and their corresponding Twitter accounts. I'm in all your Twitter spaces now, except for the one Vikings one. Don't worry, I'm not going to put a bunch of Bears crap in Vikings Twitter or Packers Twitter or Lions Twitter. Okay, I'm just going to put the shows that are there for you, like School 365, the Halla Hour, maybe the morning show. We cover everyone. Red Zone Rant, those kind of stuff. So please, thank you for interacting with us on Twitter. We appreciate it, but definitely, give us, make the comments become part of the show, because we do run off your comments. So Darren, myself, and John, for instance, not that three of us can't hold a good conversation about football, because we can, but we like your comments too, because they really help drive the train. Love to see what your score predictions are in the comments, because unlike most of our shows, we can run over the hour on this one because there's no one following us on the network. Ooh.
Right. And I say the Vikings will win it probably by 2 points. I say 33-31.
You really think someone's going to put up 30 points on either team? I could see the 20, but the 30s.
That's just the score prediction.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see like 27-25 or some weird score like that, but like in the 30s. Okay. What do you got, Darren?
35-20 Vikings.
And then Darren gets disrespectful with it.
He's got the blowout going.
Yeah.
I thought the Atlanta's game would be close.
No. And the reason why I say 35-20 is the Vikings do not forget about what happened last year with the goddamn kicker. No touchdowns scored. Vikings are on a revenge game, and when they put the ball in the Ginger Jesus, Sammy Darnold, red sniper rifles, and bad things happen.
Oh,
that's true. We did have Josh Dobbs in that game. That is true.
Hey, all I gotta say is the game.
Hold on. We had a Make-A-Wish NASA astronaut that if you're not playing the NFC South team, he doesn't know what to do. The battery was only charged up for 2 fucking percent. So he only got to play well against New Orleans and Atlanta. If you're not New Orleans and Atlanta, you know how to take out Josh Dobbs. Ginger Jesus, you give him a whole full season spread with Kevin O'Connell, and he's out here extorting people like he's Al Capone.
I just love the name Ginger Jesus.
In,
Well, you guys
in,
gotta
Ginger,
give us something in comments.
in Ginger Jesus, I trust.
Trollington, Swed, Dylan, give us your score prediction. Let us feel the wrath of your probably blowouts that you're going to predict, but I'll take it. I'm actually a little harder to comment.
Even if this does come down to a 1-score game, which I fucking hope not. I hate close nail biters like that. But if it does come down to this, I got faith in my cold-blooded sniper from the kicking standpoint. This guy can kick from anywhere from the fucking 65 up. So
there you go, Trollington. He's calling it 24-17 Vikings. That's respectable.
I got faith in the young whippersnapper Will Reichard. Man's just like
I have faith in Santo.
He's a kicking ace, and I got faith in Ginger Jesus.
You know what?
I get it, Jay.
I hope that Darren's right with his score prediction. I hope he is.
I mean, look, I have faith in Santos, and I think Santos is an excellent kicker from 48 and below. The dude's lights out unless you can get the block on him, which happened twice this year. Once he gets past 48 yards, he's like, 48 and beyond, and 54 is about his limit. Then he runs about 85% or so. I wish we had a guy. I mean, this is the bad thing. You want a guy with the big, huge leg like you got up there in Minnesota, but then those guys tend to miss these extra points and chip shots for some reason. I don't know why that is this year, why that phenomenon is happening, but I think for the Vikings, as you guys remember a couple weeks ago, you had a 2-score lead with 30 seconds left in the game, and then before you knew it, it was overtime because we erased a 2-score lead in 30 seconds, which was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, tell me that
so
was one of the more exciting games of the season, though.
All right, so I'm gonna give my non-homer take now.
Okay. Non-homer.
Oh, that was your homer pick. Oh, Jesus. Sound like Bill there, man.
28-26 Vikings.
That's a good pick right there. I can respect that one too. I mean, then look at the NFL loves these close games on Monday night. I hope we get one. I mean, I think the Bears are just guys to coach away.
Me giving 2 predictions. It's me being funny, and then me also being honest.
So if you're gonna be a homer, you should have went all out like Bill, say like 56-3 Vikings.
No. Hold on. If I'm gonna go absolute homer, today on the Valhalla Hour, John Dorn in the comments said 140-3 Vikings.
Dude,
that
the
dude
Packers
was
fans
mega
are the biggest homers. I'll tell
You
you
have
what.
to remember that's Gift Wagner's father right there. So I mean,
he's taking pictures of the parking lot.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the thing is, like within the division, the Green Bay are the biggest homers of all. They really
no
are.
doubt.
They think they're going to go into Seattle and just blow out the Seahawks. Dude, they haven't won there in like what, a decade and a half or 2 decades. I mean, like, and Love is not being just hey Jay. I think he did bet the farm. That's why he's still hunting every day to get his food. John Dorn, love John Dorn. Yeah, 40. That would be the highest scoring game in NFL history, wouldn't it? I think it would be. I don't know if there's even been that kind of score combined, let alone one team. But yeah, the Bears aren't that bad. but according to the Packers,
He said bet the farm.
yeah. Well, because Green Bay fans don't live on farms, don't they?
Sullivan also. There was a Darcy sighting today in the Valhalla hour. He kept he kept commenting and telling Rob don't slip outside.
Dude, we got to remember this is the same Darcy who said.
Wait,
the Vikings,
what was Darcy on for Robert Britannia's open mic, man? What the fuck?
Darcy said that his Lions would lose the division title.
He did say that last week. Yeah, he did.
I'm like, what?
Well, he said the reason why is because the injuries eventually will catch up to them, possibly in their standings with getting the playoffs, which is not a stupid thing to say. I mean,
he's not.
You have to be realistic.
Wrong.
The injuries might play a factor.
They might. I mean, but they also made some moves. I don't know. I think the Lions are okay. I think the fans, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, it'd be Ben Ashcott would be. I don't know if you'd be happy to be part of it, Jay, but that's not the kind of history you usually want to be in on when you're the losing team. The Lions are going to be okay. The Lions are going to be okay. They've done some things. It'll be interesting to see how they do in the playoffs. Look at the Bears show that you can the Bears. It's funny when you talk about the Bears, right? I mean, I love listening to other team fans talk about my team. They talk like the Bears are this really terrible team. Dude, we took all of you to the wire, and a combined point spread between 3 games was 7 points. So they should all be afraid because the Bears can still do a little something. They could easily be a 10-11 game winner at this point. They just aren't because the football gods frowned upon us this year for whatever reason. So when I hear Packer fans talk all this noise like they're the best thing since sliced bread, it's like, dude, your quarterback is even playing that good, right? You're winning on a surprising defensive play of your new defense and Josh Jacobs. And really, Jacobs was doing okay, but he's, was he third in the NFC right now in rushing? I mean,
yeah, he's behind.
It's
in the NFL.
It's either coming down to it's already coming down to between Saquon and Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
and Trollington's right. The Bears are good. The record doesn't reflect the talent. The entire North is legit. And the funny thing is, when I look at the Packers, I think the Packers have more problems than, say, the Vikings do at this current time or the Lions. I think the team with the least amount of problems right now is Detroit, right? The Vikings don't really have many problems. The secondary might be a little suspect at times, but you got to be able to throw the ball. Most teams can't throw the ball because their quarterbacks are on their back against the Vikings.
Or running for his life,
His pass rush is good. And you've got a good defensive coordinator who varies the exotic blitzes. But what's funny? The only quarterback who's done well against your defense has been Caleb Williams. Like, they threw all kinds of crap at him, and he was fine. He's the only quarterback who's really kind of survived pretty much unscathed against Minnesota.
I think Matthew Stafford did well, too. I think they had a really good scheme. It was basically, when they're throwing the ball, it was in shotgun. When they went under center, it was run. So,
see, I think the Vikings have potential cap success next year.
Yes, we do.
A lot of it depends on the Darnold. Like, okay, Troy, I don't know if you missed the beginning part of the show we were talking about. Like, they were smart.
I'm not concerned.
When they signed him for $10 million, but then JJ going down, now they're gonna have to pay him $35, $36 million is what his market value is. And they weren't expecting that kind of bill for a quarterback on the roster next year. So that could impact them. But dude, here's one thing I've learned about the Vikings as a Bears fan. In fact, I've learned this about all the NFC North teams. Let me just take that a step further. But Kwesi more so than anyone. Because we always say Kwesi is crazy. Yet Kwesi always finds money to do what he needs to do. And I don't
I hate him. I hate him for the bad, but he does more good than bad from what I noticed.
And the thing is, for you guys, who are you in trouble of losing to not having cap money next year? I think a lot of your contracts are pretty good right now. I mean, Addison's going to need an extension, but that's not going to affect your cap next
I think he's talking about like with the whole quarterback situation, and then how much like just throwing it out there. For example, like throw out like the Kirk Cousins factor when he was in Minnesota. You signed Kirk Cousins to some money. Now you kind of got to fight with fucking crumbs and scraps to try to get what you need. But I think with the Sam Darnold equation, I think you can extend him for cheaper, and he needs to be on proven, not just.
Well, I mean, look, if you get him his market value,
not just one. I need more to. I need to see consistency. I don't
well,
need to
with
see
Darnold
one
though,
piece from Sam Darnold. I need to
it
see
would,
more than one.
let's say you give him a $36 million a year over 3 years, okay, that kind of deal, because you don't want to burn all of McCarthy's 5 years, right? Like kind of like Green Bay did with Love, where they got that sticky situation where they were forced to basically make him franchise quarterback money out the gate almost. So maybe you give him a 3-year extension that takes you to the 4th year. So when you have to pay JJ his 5th-year option,
Well, when JJ,
hold on, let me finish it. But here's the thing: you guarantee maybe 50 million of it, which means you guaranteed next season half the net, and then after that he's expendable, and then you can go with JJ. So you're really giving him a 2-year contract or a 1.5-year contract per se, and then you kind of put yourself in position where you can get rid of him and it's team friendly. So I don't know how much that hurts the the money situation. At the same time, it gives you out. It depends on the guaranteed piece of it, because they can make a lot of it disappear from the cap. They're really good at that. 36 mil a year, 36 mil is going to show up in the cap though.
Another crazy thing I could see them doing, possibly, unless Sam Darnold takes us to the Super Bowl and wins it. I mean, that's
Every game he wins the
anything's
playoffs,
possible.
that price tag goes up.
Nothing's impossible. I mean, but the odds of that are highly unlikely, but it's not possible. But other than them, if Darnold takes us to the Super Bowl and wins it, they could bargain with him. If he asks for too much, they can let him go and bring in Daniel Jones as a starter next season.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
That could happen if
Daniel Jones. All he is Nick Mullins, the jock strap cleaner, polisher guy.
Yeah, but that's what people said about Darnold before this year.
Right. I was going to say the same thing. That's exactly what we said about Darnold. A lot of people said that.
Yeah, Jay, I don't think Darnold's really a serious contender in the MVP talk. I haven't really heard his name outside of Minnesota.
Whoa. Ginger Jesus, his numbers don't lie. He's up there with Mahomes. He's looking better than Mahomes.
Mahomes isn't even in the MVP discussion.
The Vikings are looking better than the Chiefs this year. I'm not even taking the Chiefs serious this year.
I think right now it comes down to Saquon.
You know what?
Saquon might win it.
In Goff.
If it comes down,
Lamar.
If it comes down to a playoff situation, and they got to face Buffalo or Pittsburgh, either one of those teams.
But here's why Darnold doesn't win it though, Darren. Because Darnold has done what we said he needed to do, right? Be a good game manager. He's not flashy play guy. Good numbers, but
he needs to get redemption against the Rams in the playoffs.
But here's the thing: well, the playoffs don't matter for MVP. It's already decided by that point. The MVP is decided.
He's going to be playoffs MVP. It's going to be playoffs.
Well, maybe he can be playoff MVP if you get there. But every game you win the playoffs, his price goes up next year. So I can see D Jones too. I think the office has faith in Kevin. Has so much faith in Kevin. They think they can do. Yeah. I mean, look at Danny Dimes. Maybe he just need to get out of New York. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He showed in New York basically what Darnold showed.
I can't stand that dude. He's a young fucking Kirk Cousins. The dude doesn't have legs like fucking Sammy Darnold getting out of the pocket. Sam Darnold doesn't run, trip him, hit his own self up, and then fucking fumble. Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones are only two dudes that I've seen physically do that in the game.
Hey, John, this is that part of the show where we go, and for our viewers, we please do remind you that Darren has no opinion on anything whatsoever. He's opinionless.
Oh my gosh. Oh shit!
How do you really feel about Danny Dimes, Darren?
So you're telling me that never happened?
No, I laughed because I remember when it did happen. I mean, look at Darnold was a redemption project this year.
In your opinion, out of those three, who's got the better legs? Tape's been going, all season this year.
I think Darnold has better legs, but Jones can run. Jones can run though. Jones can run.
Darnold's got the better pocket awareness.
I remember a couple of years ago, Jones destroyed
He's
the
got
Bears.
Darnold's got the better mental. I mean, fucking it's like fucking O'Connell took him to the fountain of youth.
See, but I mean the same thing can happen for Danny Dimes.
He healed him. He healed him of all that paranormal activity that was going on. He brought in Ghostbusters for my boy. It's not every day.
He's got a good point, though. I mean,
not every day somebody gets saved.
He could end up in a really tricky cap situation if you go too far. Like, look, I think for the long, and Jay, tell me, I think maybe for you guys right now, it's like Super Bowl or first round. Like, give me one or the other. Like, either let me lose in the first round so I can keep Darnold at a decent price, or let me win the Super Bowl. Don't get me to an NFC Championship and then shit the bed, because now I've probably priced Darnold out where I can't bring him back, and you know what I'm saying? It's like you almost want, like I would almost rather go out in the first round than go out in the second or third round and keep Darnold than get kind of like that fool's gold thing, and now Darnold gets to be too expensive to resign for next year. Does that make sense?
Here's my take on this from what you're talking about. Going in the first round, getting first the exit right away, that doesn't sit well with me. Winning one playoff game doesn't sit well with me being a Viking fan, because I've seen it millions.
You're used to. And Danny Dimes took you out the last time.
Making it to the NFC Championship game and losing doesn't sit well with me. I need to see somebody. I need to see somebody take us past the NFC Championship game and hold up to the legacy that was put in place by Bud Grant and the Vikings before us. That is the ceiling of this franchise, and we haven't been to that ceiling since.
This is the scary thing about the NFC North right now, or the NFC. The best two teams in the NFC have never won the Super Bowl, and they've continually choked every time they get an opportunity to get close to them. Someone's got to break it.
Closest.
I mean, the Packers are funny because the Packers keep crying how great they are. They're kings of the North. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you get to the playoffs and you lose every year. You've got 2 Super Bowls in the last 40 years. That's great, but outside of our division, you ain't shit.
Yep.
So, my thing is, the closest coaches that I've tried getting to Bud Grant status, right, is Denny Green, Brad Childress, Mike Zimmer, and now O'Connell's got a tough task on his plate.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I don't know if this is like a miracle thrown in front of me by God or something, but he, to me, like resembles a young Bud Grant.
If you guys somehow were to win the Super Bowl this year, Darnold, the price. What do you think the price?
Yeah, I'd be tied right there with you when it comes to,
Yeah, we each have a ring finally. But Darnold, like, let's say Darnold. Not only let's say you win the Super Bowl, but Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP. Dude, he's a $50 million a year price tag now.
Yep.
At least.
After we say, and this is unrealistically, because I'm going to say that as a Viking fan, if we do and we go into the off season, we just load up with what we got. that gets thrown at our feet, and then you go out and you try to pull off the Mahomes and the Reed, and you go for the repeat. You have to. You win one,
I
you got to
mean,
go for the second.
I hear some Viking
Can't-
fans say,
can't-
"Oh, we'll
can't-
walk away from Darnold," but
You
the ranking
can't.
file.
But look. I'm talking from a coaching standpoint. You can't just stop at winning one. No.
No, you got to keep
Yep.
going.
Right.
Yep, coaches are they coach to win Super Bowls, and players play to win Super Bowls. Also, they play to keep their job. So, you know,
Oh, also, I have to say this, regretfully so. I hate to say this. Congratulations to Navy on singing second tonight. You upset a very good Army team. Good for you. And I guess the Commander-in-Chief trophy might make its way to your hallowed halls, but that's okay. We play the game again
oh, that's
next
right.
year.
You're an Army guy, right?
Army guy. Yep. So is Rob. So
Wait, David Robinson was a Navy guy. Just remember that.
who is?
The Admiral, David Robinson.
Oh yeah. Well, forget him. Interesting thing though about this game, there was an interesting fact because President-elect was there, and he's been to games even when he wasn't. After the last
Yep.
4 years, he went to a couple. I did not know this until today. Our current CIC had never been to an Army Navy game.
Well, look at
President
him.
Are you not
Looks like he has a
going
hard
to
time
Navy
getting on an
game?
airplane. So I mean,
Our current CIC likes strolling the Amazon rainforest by himself. So
I guess, but I'm just like, dude, look at the winner of that game usually gets the Commanders and Chiefs trophy, the President of the
yeah,
United States, his trophy, and you've never gone to present it?
that's that's crazy because that game is a big thing.
I'll tell you
I
what,
can
this is
take
the
it
highest
big
scoring Army Navy game I
for
can
the
remember the
CIA
last decade.
for the CIC. That's a big game.
Well,
Big
so
thing.
Trump was there. This is probably the only time you'll see JD Vance at a game because once he becomes vice president, they're not going to have the president and the vice president at the game. So you had president-elect, vice president-elect, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Vivek was there. I mean, he basically had everyone with him. He was on the field for the national anthem. I mean, it was a great game. Unfortunately, Navy won, and probably one of the highest scoring Army Navy games. I hope the Monday Night Football game isn't like that. But yeah.
Oh,
It was
so it was just a shootout.
31-17 was the final, I think.
Oh shit.
Usually those games are big running affairs. There's a lot of air balls that
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Army's still in the top 25. They're still a ranked team, but it won't hurt their rankings for the bowl game. Bowl games are set already. Both Navy and Army have bowl games this year. The Army are the AAC or ACC champs so this year, so we got that at least. But, yeah, should be a good game. The only college game I care about every year is that game. Football wise, tomorrow I'll be watching. I'll watch the Pack Turds lose. The Lions have a good game too, don't they? Who the Lions play?
Buffalo Bills.
Lions play
Oh,
Buffalo.
the Bills. That's
Buffalo.
going to be a great game.
It's gonna be Sunday night, or not the Sunday night, the American.
Two really good
America's
offenses
game of the
are
week.
going to be going at it.
It's Fox America's game of the week. Yeah, it should be a good game.
Yep.
That'd be a great game.
And then we get to have our battle Monday night. We'll see which Bears team shows up. I'm hoping for a good NFC North, take it to the last minute kind of game.
I'm hoping that it's the 2018 the Bears played the fucking Eagles Bears, where it comes down to that last minute
double
field
doink?
goal and the
Double doink. Yeah.
I hope that happens.
Hey, that curse has been broken. You know why, right?
Why?
Because Kansas City clinched their division on a doink. It's been broken. The doink has been reversed.
See,
Oh, that's
you guys
right. Yeah,
see-
they did
see-
clinch it last Sunday. Yeah.
See, since your guy can't kick it deep like Parky can't kick it deep, it makes sense for the boom boom.
You know what's funny? So, like I said, Chris Santos is a great kicker, very accurate. within his range, but that's the problem is his range. If you look at week 2 with the Texans game for the Bears, the only reason the Bears lost that game was Houston got 3 field goals at 55 yards plus. And for the Bears, that's 3 punts. For them, that's 9 points and then a kickoff. That's a huge
Right.
difference. So having that long range kicker makes 55 yarders possible, whereas the Bears are, running Torrey Taylor out there to try to pin you deep. I mean, and that works too if we can pin you deep and stop you. But I'd much rather come off with 3 on the board and then meet you at your 30-yard line after the touchback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Santos, he's accurate from 48 and in. He's almost 100%. I think he is 100%. But after 48 yards, well, minus the block. So, take the 2 blocks out, he's 100%. Beyond 48, he's like 85 or so percent. And I don't think he has anything longer than a 54-yarder. He missed the 56-yarder where he just missed it. I'm just I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears bring a guy in camp with a big leg that can kick it from 60 yards out next year. I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of competition happens. I think in Minnesota, you guys are pretty much set. It's just gonna be quarterback situation, and maybe if you have some guys, forget that baseball team, they suck. You know, yeah, the Cubs just made a big trade. I mean, come on. No, it's gonna be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's hard for me to talk trash with as bad as my team has played, but we've been in games, man. Like we're a good team, just can't seem
And
to.
a lot of those games just came down to the game was in Eberflus's hands. For the
Some of
majority
it's
of
just
those
talk. I
games,
mean, look at the Green Bay game.
where he needed to make those crucial
Well, like
adjustments.
Green Bay, they made a play. Their defense made a play on the field goal attempt. I mean, they made a good play. That's why we lose that game. I think Tom Brady said a couple weeks ago when we had our game, he's like, "Look at this Bears team could have easily won 4 or 5 other games. It didn't go their way. The Washington game just didn't go our way. We probably should have won week 2. We should have won week 3. Was that week 3 was the Colts. We should have beaten them. Yeah, I mean, Arizona, they fell apart. It was a complete game. And then I think what became evident we need to get rid of Shane Waldron was the New England game when, like, the guy was laughing and Caleb's looking like, dude, what the hell? And then they make the change and look at the 3 games in the North, like a grand total of 7 points, a 7-point difference in all 3 games. I mean, last week is probably an aberration because it's all new coaching staff. Basically, everyone's in a new role, so to speak. People are like, but your
Right.
DC, our DC hadn't called a play since preseason. So honestly, it's a good team that's in games. It's not like, we've had our blowout games, yes, but against good teams, we've played really good for overall. So I'm assuming, that this will be a good game and that we're going to try to play spoiler. And I hope that look, we've shown that we can play with you. We've shown we can play with Detroit and we can play with Green Bay. We're going to beat one of you guys in these next 4 games.
And I'm hoping it's Green Bay you guys
I
beat
hope
at the
it's
end of the season.
I hope you beat Green Bay and not us.
Green Bay fans like, the Bears have no chance of winning another game all year. That should tell you how delusional Green Bay fans are, or how
It'd be
lost.
funny if you guys beat Detroit too. That'd be funny.
I'd also like you to beat Darcy McGill.
I mean, wouldn't it be funny though if like Green Bay and Minnesota
Is that
going to
be in? Is that Detroit game going to be in Chicago?
Chicago.
in Chicago?
Yeah.
But
They play
here's,
Thanksgiving.
well, here's the funny thing about that game is the Lions only had 2 outdoor games all year. The one in Green Bay, which they already played, and now this one in Chicago, which the weather will be a lot worse. But I was gonna say, wouldn't it be funny? Because for whatever reason, you guys have a little bit of a problem with the Seahawks. And in fact, most of the North has a problem with the Seahawks, except for the Bears for some reason. Wouldn't it be funny if you guys and the Packers both lose to the Seahawks and we beat the Seahawks? That would be kind of fun. In a weird way.
No. What would be even more weird is both the Vikings and the Packers lose to the Seahawks, and the Bears beat the Lions.
That'd be good. Yeah,
That would be fucking weird.
it'd be funny if the Bears win out. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that'd be hilarious.
See,
won-
my whole thing is on it is why win out when you know
The
you're
draft
gonna
pick.
mess up your draft space.
But you know what though? I mean, look it.
What's your projected pick at right now?
Let me look it up. But that it matters, but it doesn't. Does that make sense?
But yeah, also at the same time, this whole first round of this coming up draft is going to be defensive line, defense heavy.
O line, D line, which we need. So, right now the Giants are at 1, the Vegas Raiders are at 2, the Pats are at 3 again, Carolina at 4, Browns at 5, Jets at 6, Titans at 7. Oh, we're at number 9 again. Same place we were last year. I don't know why they would say we need a wide receiver though, but okay, whatever. Maybe they think Keenan Allen's going to walk. We have the hardest strength of schedule in the league right now.
Yeah, they think Keenan Allen's going to go back home to Justin Herbert.
Who knows what he's going to do? I hope the Bears keep him. But
He's getting up there in age, though, too, so that's the thing to consider.
Well, he said he wanted to stay in Chicago. He said it last week, actually, before and after the Niners game. But I mean, look at the Bears.
I think that was a nice acquisition. You guys got Keenan Allen. Hell of a player.
And
outstanding.
It's not just the on-field stuff he brought, but at practice, in the meeting. I mean, you can't tell me he has not helped Rome and Caleb.
Yeah. Just having his presence in the locker room, being a standout offensive guy that he's been over the years. It's nice to have a guy like that in the locker room.
I mean, this Bears team, as we've seen, is good enough to be in a game with the best teams in the NFL. So, look,
Keenan Allen's still playing good ball for his age.
The Bears, I wouldn't look at the Bears ran off a 4-game win streak to end the season. I wouldn't be surprised. If they didn't win another game, I wouldn't be surprised. As far as like winning games affecting the draft order, fans care about that. They're about the only people who care about that. Players want to win games, coaches want to win games, GMs want to win games, ownership wants to win games. They're not concerned about tanking for a spot per se. Players want to win games because they want to keep their jobs. They want to be on the roster next year, so they're going to play hard. Coaches, they want to keep their jobs, and the current coaches of the Bears are all auditioning for jobs, if not in Chicago, then in other places. So they're going to want to put their best foot forward. So this whole idea that the Packer fans have, once again, it's the Packer fans, the Bears only want to show up. They don't care. They're not going to play. Are you freaking kidding me? Every single one of those guys is going to do their best job they can possibly do to win games because they want to have a job next year.
Yep.
So the Bears are talented enough to win out this season. They are. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But would any of you guys be surprised if the Bears won out?
I would be surprised.
I would be surprised.
I'd be a little bit more pissed off that we let them come walk in our house for the second straight year and get the dub. But
I mean,
I'd still be surprised. I'd be like, what's the point now?
For all the games they've lost by a field goal or less, those are games you could have won, right? I mean, they're in the game, so I could see him going 0-4, 1-3, 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0. All four are a possibility for this team. I mean, some of it's going to be the luck of the day and whatnot. The talent's there. It's just going to be a question on that given game day. Can they? They're the same any given Sunday.
Now, I would root for you guys to be 3-1, but you're only lost to Minnesota. I'd be okay with that.
There you go. That's John Sullivan's perfect storm for Chicago. Look at you guys want us to win games. Like you guys want us to have the John Sullivan.
Hey, it's already happening.
What?
What's that? What does it say?
Return.
Oh,
So Rogers is throwing these hints out there that he's not returning. So right now, Devontae Adams looks like a dumbass teenage girl that was chasing a boy. Okay.
hey, but his Taco Bell commercials are cool.
I honestly, if I'm Devontae Adams, I fucking play spoiler, and I'm like, hey, I go back, meet up with Matt LaFleur, Rodgers. You go figure yourself out. But at the same time, do I want the fucking Packers to get better offensively?
Neither of them are going to end up in Green Bay.
and get Devontae Adams back? Fuck no.
Neither of those guys end up in Green Bay ever again. Neither of them.
No, I've
heard a lot of Rodgers going to San Francisco.
If it absolutely came down to it, the most likely return would be
Adams,
Devontae Adams, not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of scuttlebutt of Rodgers going to San Francisco because San Francisco doesn't want to pay Purdy. Rodgers has been a Niners fan his whole life.
Purdy could go to Oakland, aka Vegas.
They're drafting a quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers could go there too.
Yeah, but they're drafting a quarterback at 2, I think.
Or I see New Orleans.
And actually, if they can get Shakur Sanders, they might hire his dad to be their next head coach too at the same time.
So what about New Orleans? That could be a Rodgers situation.
How about the Giants?
To be honest, if you gave me a choice of Carr or Rodgers, I'd take Carr. Carr's a smarter player.
Out of all the teams in the NFL, if Rodgers is looking to start up shop on another team to start.
But he wants to start a team that's
which team budges?
I think San Francisco makes sense if they don't want to give Purdy $50-some million a year. Because they can get Rodgers for less than that.
You think they would take Rodgers for less?
Yeah. I think Rodgers goes there for less too.
Here's something to consider though too. Next year, 2025, he'll be in the league for 20 years. He'll be in the NFL for 20 years, even though his first 3 years he didn't play, 2005. Right. So that's.
I think Rodgers could end up in San Francisco. That's a possibility. I think the
and then Purdy goes to New Orleans.
Yeah, because the Giants and the Raiders both want a quarterback.
Giants and the Raiders, they don't have the offense to put around Purdy, but the Saints have weapons.
I don't know if they want to get rid of Carr.
They don't have a quarterback.
They got Carr, but Carr's hurt. I like Carr. Carr's a smart quarterback.
Yeah.
Carr's the guy who's watch. When Carr retires, he's gonna become a head coach.
Dude. And this is me, but I really haven't seen anything out of Carr since 2015 Carr.
When Gruden, the whole Gruden thing happened, the only reason that team was still good after Gruden left was because of Carr. Carr was the only one who understood Gruden's offense.
And then
he basically coached that team.
And then he spaced out.
Well, no, then they brought in McCarthy, who was the franchise killer.
And then now he's in New Orleans, and
he's been playing good in New Orleans. And you know what? He's been doing decently well in NOLA. They just had some coaching and personnel issues.
Is he healthy right now?
No, he's got a broken hand right now. He broke his hand.
So it's in. So it's in the
hand.
Hands
the point is, I don't know if NOLA is going to move on from him, but like another team that could use a quarterback, Cleveland. I don't know if Winston, if they're going to want, could you see? I could see Purdy maybe going to Cleveland if the Niners don't re-sign him. That's a possibility. You know who else is a possibility in a weird way? The Colts. Because let's face it, I don't think the Titans, they need a quarterback. The Colts need a quarterback because Richardson, can't stay healthy. And is he really that good?
Joe Flacco is not going to be a Colt forever.
No, so Richardson, I think that's a failed draft pick at this point.
They just need to turn Richardson into a running back.
They
At
should.
this point.
But look, here's the other thing. There's gonna be some quarterbacks in free agency because, like, is Pittsburgh going to re-sign Fields and Russ?
I could see that.
Do you think they have the money for both of them?
Depends on what, because remember, Russ is still getting paid by Denver.
Well, not next year. He's not. That's done.
What do you mean it's done? They just
Like,
they're just
he's
paid
not
him.
going to. He's not
They
going
just they
to.
just so they just
He's not
paid
going
him
to take
all
a
the
1-year league minimum. He's going to want 40.
so they just Denver just paid him all the money they owed him up front already.
Yeah, I don't think Russ's contract is good. I don't think he's getting. He might still be getting money,
Remember,
but even if he is, though, he's not going to give him
they broke that contract after they paid him. Like, after they signed him for can't remember how long they signed him for, but they signed him for a fuck ton of money and then just nope. Bye.
Let me see. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. I'm trying to bring it up. Hold on. Tell me. So his base salary this year was 1.2 mil
from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right. He signed a 5-year, $242 million contract with the Broncos. Blah 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 blah. What year was that? 161 million guaranteed. In 2024, Wilson won a base case. What year did he sign that contract though? Wow. All right, so he's still going to get money for a couple years off that.
Yeah.
For like 2 or 3 more years. But I still, I mean, let's see what his market value is right now. His market value is only 40 million. His market value is 40 million. So yeah, they might get him for 2 years at 80, but then you got to sign Justin Fields too, and you figure he's at least 10 million a year. So they're going to spend 50 mil between.
I think with the situation that Russ is in and where he's at in his career, I think he takes the team friendly deals. And plus he's already said it that he likes playing with Justin. And
well, I think that they signed Russ. He's going to cost maybe 40 mil.
Pittsburgh likes the Fields and Wilson show.
Okay, so Fields market value is about 9 million. So yeah, you could get them both for about 50 million.
Right.
Let me see.
And then you just go into the draft, and I'd say you bring in another receiver.
They've got 56 million in cap space.
Offensive line needs work. I would take.
They're going to have 56 million.
I would take another corner for sure, and another safety. And I'd say I'd throw in there, and I'd throw in the defense lineman because Cam Hayward's getting up there.
So for next year, they've got right now they've got 56 million cap space, 40 players signed to the roster. That's where they're at right now. So they could sign both Russ and Fields. And you probably figure that 56 probably be 76 after the bump. So they could sign them both. I mean, I can see your argument there. They might be able to sign them both.
And then you just go into the draft and, receiver, offensive line, corner, safety, defensive line.
I gotta get some stuff done before tomorrow's been. We did an hour, almost 2 hours a day. We're gonna have a good game Monday night, man. I appreciate you having me on your show tonight.
Oh
for everyone
Absolutely.
on X, and right now there are over 100 of you watching us on X. Thank you very much for supporting Rob and myself in the various areas of X. Please, JT, thank you for commenting from X tonight. Love to see you guys coming in from X. Remember, we are in the Twitter spaces of all 4 NFC North teams. Tomorrow morning we will have we've got the Red Zone rant at 10 a.m. Central, and then we've got House Hall Report at 11 a.m. Central. Where on the Bears show we'll be talking more Bears Vikings, of course, and then some Bears specific stuff. And then Monday through Friday morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East, every day on X, as well as the YouTube and Amazon Fire Stick and Roku and Facebook platforms. We have Ken and Ken in the morning and all the team shows throughout the week, of course. House Hall is also going to be on Wednesday night. And, of course, next week right back here for 365 Valhalla in the morning, Valhalla. And then Darren, the wrestling show, that's on
That's
Saturdays
on
as well?
Saturdays at 11 a.m. before the hour before Valhalla hour.
And that
So
is
you
also
watch the wrestling and then you get your Valhalla hour right
if you're
after.
watching on X, it's on. Whoops, wrong way. There you
Shield
go. That's me
TV.
on X. That's me
Shield
on X.
TV.
If you're on X, you can catch me on Ken the Bear Fan, and the show is there. If you know a Twitter space, I can send that to. Let me know, and I'll go join that community. Like I have for Bears Twitter, Packers Twitter, Lions Twitter, and now Vikings Twitter. I'll send it to that community as well. But if you want to watch the wrestling show on Saturdays in the morning, right? That's the morning, yeah.
Yeah, 11 a.m.
At 11 a.m. Central. You can catch it there, and then let me know, and I'll send it to whatever wrestling community you want as well. I'll go join that community and send it. But I thank you guys on X specifically because you guys are the majority of it, and I'm not
And
forgetting you
all
guys.
and not only just because like X is a big deal. Thanks for all the other viewers that tune in from the
Yep.
other platforms as well.
On Facebook, YouTube, and definitely on Roku and Fire
Fire
TV on the Huddle Sports app. If you guys didn't know, we are on Roku TV and Fire TV. You can go to the App Store, look for Huddle Sports, the Huddle Sports Network, and you can catch all our shows on there and replays of them as well. You can see the replays on all the other streaming platforms. But if you want to watch us on your 70-inch, 80-inch high def TV, which Darren and I might break your television screens with the mugs we have. But in fact, I don't know if we have anyone that won't break your mug in our network. However, you can watch us on your TV screen as well, and watch us that way as well. We appreciate you guys who watch us that way as well. All the viewers, we appreciate it, but especially the guy when you guys can make comments. We love hearing your comments and seeing them. So yeah, thanks for having me on, and everyone enjoy football this weekend, man.
Absolutely. Skol.
Bear down. Have a good one, guys.